What were you saying, Philip? About beggars not being able to be choosers? What the fuck do you mean? They get to choose what corner they beg from. You didn't think that one all the way through, did you? Well, there you go. Even beggars can be choosers. Oh. I'd like to welcome you all back to the Trap House. Thanks for showing up. And that's just me getting warmed up, folks. Thanks for showing back up for another episode of the Trap House Podcast, episode 17. Better check your watches or your time machines, because it's the time for truth. Brought to you by Epiphany Chris. Man, time is so awesome. And if you haven't realized it by now, I like to talk about it quite a bit. And it's just something that we all have. We're all given this time. And it's nice to know that you can spend that time. Some way you can spend it somehow. You can spend it and it's free. Somehow you can spend it and it's free. Time is a tricky bitch, isn't she? Could be a guy too, I wouldn't know. Maybe it's something in between. But time is just so great, isn't it? You have some good time. I know everybody out there has had some good time. I know everybody out there has had some bad time. Bet you had some great time too. But no matter what, you spent that free time you were given. How have you been spending that time? Let me know. It doesn't hurt to comment. It doesn't hurt to hit that like button either. It don't hurt at all. Try it. I dare you. So like I said, I really hope that you folks are ready today, because it's the time for truth. What's that mean to you? What does truth mean to you? What do they say now? Oh, okay. So what's your truth? I wonder if they really mean it when they say that. What's your truth? Do people really care what your truth is? I think the only person that your truth matters to is you. I don't know, these are just facts in my opinion, but I do believe, I guess, that if you have a truth, hold on to it. Don't let nobody take that truth away. How is truth taken? How do you lose your truth? Is it yours to begin with? Is it like this time we have where it's given to us freely and then we get to spend it freely? Or do we? Are you holding on to your truth? What is your truth? Everybody's got some. Now, in order to have a truth, you had to have spent some time doing it, or living it, or creating it, or deceiving people into believing it, or deceiving yourself into believing it. There's a lot of places where you could lie with truth. Where do you lie with truth? Man, a lot of time has gone just whizzing by since the last episode. Again, listen. Thanks for showing up, everybody. I do appreciate it. And you'll get nothing but, what do you call it? You'll get nothing but virtual high fives from me. Because this shit's important. This shit is important. Not sure why, but Puppers is starting to bark. Let's see if he stops. And it seems like he's going to stop. That's good news for us here at the Trap House Podcast because we like silence. It allows us to think a little more clearly. It's difficult sometimes to think when you're bombarded with other people's truths or, I don't know, what do they call negative energy or negative vibes that people put out. And then we as humans, obviously in our selfish nature, if anything goes against our truth or our belief, with a question mark, we get offended. Now, I'm not sure if you folks know this or not, but the word offended is past tense always. So if you're offended in the past, why let it affect your present and possibly your future? I mean, if you hold your truth, why would you need to be offended in the past? It's crazy to think about it when you just think about it, isn't it? How can you be offended in the present when the word itself is 100% past? And so is the event that took place that may have affected your truth or your offense meter. If you're still holding on to an offense meter in 2021, don't listen to this podcast. But if you know for a fact, because it is the time for truth, you might want to get rid of it. Get rid of that offense meter. Get rid of that, oh shit, I'm offended in the past attitude. It's retarded, to say the least. You took offense to something? Even that's past tense. Anytime something happens, it's in the past immediately after it happened. If you don't believe me, look it up, I guess. But these are facts again, folks, in my opinion. And if you don't like them or you disagree with them, I'd gladly debate the shit out of you in the comments. Because it's fun. There's nothing better than knowing your truth, right? So what is it? What is it today? Because it seems like nowadays your truth changes with your feelings, with your truth changes if you roll out of bed the wrong way. Your truth changes if you find out that somebody said the N-word and they're not black. Your truth gets offended when you don't get your way. The only time people don't get their way is when they allow other people to be in their way. Just saying. If you're allowing other people to get in your way, just, I don't know, go left or right or dig under them, go over them. There was a thing, back in the church that says, or no, in the school, it was in the school system. You can't go over it, you can't go under it, you can't go to the left, you can't go to the right, just go through it. something like that. I'm sure it's a much better thing, and I just totally fucked it up. But guess what? There's something like that, and it's like, if you can't get around it, you can't get under it, you can't go over it, you can't sidestep to the left, you can't moonwalk to the right, you go through it. I mean, how were roads built with mountains in the way? We went through them. What's your truth? What's your truth today? And what's affecting it? And if anything is affecting it, can't be your truth now, can it? Just asking questions. But anyway, let's go to something a little lighter, because, we like to have fun here at the TrapHouse podcast. Last episode we asked, do you have a right to be you? Now again, time, that sneaky bitch, she came and went from the time we were here before to the time we're here now. And at this point in time, we're gonna just think about, do you have a right to be you? With everything that happens in life, like we all know, things and actions and interferences and everything there are things that happen to you during the course of your life. If you debate that, I don't know. Check into a hospital. But things happen. Now it's up to you to decide how you handle it. You can't point blame. We've been doing it since the dawn of time. Since the dawn of time, we've been saying, he did that, she did that, they did that. That group of people over there, fuck them. They don't believe what we believe, fuck them. So, do you have a right to be you? After pondering it, I really don't think it's like a right. I think it's more of like a privilege. Now, I'm not saying it's a colored privilege. I'm not saying it's a money privilege. I'm not saying it's a where do you sit in the food pyramid privilege. I'm saying it's just it's a privilege to be able to be you. Think about it for a second. I'm not saying you to be me or me to be you. I'm saying it's a privilege for just you as a human to be you and to be you freely, to enjoy this one shot that we all got. Like I said, things happen. Obviously, things happen. And they happen almost every day. I mean, unless you don't exist or you're in a different dimension. I don't know how things happen over there, but it's definitely a fact that things happen. But it's up to you and I and they, them, and her and he to decide how they handle every moment. Because you really can't look at it as like a situation or as something so massive, because everything boils down to literally a moment. People are spending the rest of their days in jail because of a moment that they made a harsh decision, because they let their feelings get in the way. There are people who are living the lavish lifestyle because in a moment they made a decision, and that decision made them much wow. So when you look at how you react or act or deal with each moment, kind of like defines you. So you create the you want to be. In reality, do you really have a right to be you? I don't know. It almost seems like with even the smallest of restrictions on anything pertaining to things that happen in life, there should not be one single restriction on anything in order for you to be you, really. The second restrictions start getting laid out, people change how they think. They change that thought path that they're on, and maybe they go, oh shit, I gotta do this, because in order for me to live in maybe the building complex that I'm living in, maybe, oh, I can't have my pet. And then they got to get rid of that pet. So now they've got to live a life where they're probably always thinking about that pet. Maybe they really like that pet a lot, but due to circumstances in life and restrictions, they were forced to have to abandon, or maybe put up for adoption, or just drop off on the side of a road an animal that maybe they had a deep connection with. So even just that really small idea there, in those types of moments, that's when you need to be you the most. Are you going to change who you are based on restrictions and limitations, or are you going to go above and beyond and say, no, I'm not going to let this stop me from being me? How dare people? I'm swiping my finger at you. Tisk, tisk. Like Mom always says, you got to make wise choices. It's not up to anybody else to make those choices for you. And if you are, that means if somebody is making your choices for you, you may be in a toxic relationship. If somebody is in charge of making your choices for you, you may be disabled and not able to do it. Let's hope they're making the wise choices for you. But the idea behind this is like, do you really have a right to be you? I don't think you do. I think it's a privilege, and that privilege, it seems every day is getting, I don't know, I feel like it's getting smaller and smaller. Now the Grinch's heart, it grew 3 sizes bigger when he showed some love or whatever. His heart was frozen tiny because he was restricted, and he just felt a certain type of way because of his environment, I guess. He wasn't treated so great, but he chose to be cold and dead inside. But what happened when he let go of them restrictions and he was able to become more him? His heart grew, man. I don't know how that's possible, but I don't know. Did his ribcage grow too, or I don't know how that all works, but just allow yourself to sit for a minute and think. If you didn't take the time to think about it now. The right to be you is maybe slowly being manipulated out of your hands, and you wouldn't even know it until it's gone. I think there's a saying that says you never know what you had until it's gone, or it's better to have loved and lost than to have ever loved at all. I don't know how I feel about those, but they made sense here. You have to be you amongst 7 billion other people that also want to be them. I don't know if it's a problem that needs to be solved, but it was definitely just something fun to think about. And I really hope you did, because I enjoyed thinking about it. And I enjoyed just allowing you to hear how I thought about it. But next week, I'll tell you this. Next week's a good time. Or next time is going to be a good time. But next time, here's something to think about. I may give you extra time to think about it because I don't know. It's really a great topic, I think. But here's something to think about for the next episode on the TrapHouse podcast. What the fuck happened to Amelia Earhart? Can somebody tell me? But don't now. Just think about it. Now there's a lot going on in the news lately. I wouldn't know, but I'm sure it's not good. So let's go down a little thought path of positivity, shall we? Will you join me? down this thought path of positivity, take my hand or my elbow. You can grab onto my jacket pocket. Just don't grab my back pocket, because we all know what that means. Keep that shit in your pants. So we went on an adventure the other day, and my soon-to-be wife says, I've never been to Sonic before. So I tell her, you know what? Let's go to Sonic. I mean, even though we're on this health kick, which is fun, it's good. It's always good to, eat properly. It's very important. But that once in a while thing is all right, right? What do they say? Everything in moderation. So we roll into Sonic. Slot number 7. We sit for a minute. I allow her to peruse the menu. I've perused it a few times already before, but she peruses the menu, and I tell her, man, look at all the shakes you can make. I mean, it's a wonderful menu. The setup's amazing. Garbage can for each guy. And then somebody, I tell her, you see that red button, you just push that red button right there, and then, I don't know, 10 minutes later, you're served delicious fried food. I mean, it's delicious, obviously. They wouldn't still be in business if it wasn't. So I push the button after we've decided to order, and she says, you order first. You're closer. In my head, I laughed so hard, and I blurted out, voices travel, you know that, right? And she says, but your soundbox is closer. This is the type of people on planet Earth, okay? We know how fast light is. We know how long it takes to get to a destination based on Google Maps, but we don't realize that our voices can travel. And this is why we like these little thought paths I take you down. I hope you had fun with it. There's nothing like a good story about partial retardation. When in our minds we have the ability to do such great things, but to realize that voices travel makes you chuckle a little bit. Have you ever heard this phrase, don't point, it's rude? It don't make sense. How would you know who you're talking about? Or what's going on? You got a point. What the fuck? You got 10 pointers right at the end of your limbs. You actually got 20. Some of us have less, and thank you for your service. But you got 10 pointers, man. 1, 2, 3. You could point all day. They tell you it's rude. Tell me how that makes sense. If somebody's in need of help, are you going to just... Hey, some guy needs help. I don't know where. I mean, I know where, but I can't tell you because if I point, it's rude. I don't know how that all works. I just wing it here at the TrapHouse sometimes. And don't point, it's rude. Get that shit out of here. What if there was buried treasure? Oh, I can't show you where it is. God damn it. What if somebody's sneezing on the, what if somebody's over there sneezing on the salad bar glass and then wiping it off with his hand and then taking his hand and grabbing, the spoons you all share? How you gonna know who's doing it? It's like, hey Jim, Philip, look at that guy over there. Look at that guy spreading the vid. This is crazy. How would you know what's going on anywhere if we didn't point? How would you know which way's the way if nobody pointed? We all met the talker with the hands before. They pointed everything. I think I'm one of them people that people say, hey man, that guy talked with his hands. Just stand back a little bit. He may smack you once or twice. It's not on purpose. Sometimes it happens. Have you ever been out to a restaurant and like there's a pretty girl over across the way or a handsome fella? How you gonna point out to your spouse, hey, what about that one? We gonna take that one home tonight? How would you know? It's not even you could. We're gonna nod your head. It don't make sense. You got to point somehow. Look over there. That's a pretty gal, or that's a handsome dude. Let's go buy him some drinks and take him home. And you got to point. How would Christopher Columbus would have known where we were going? He had to point. Oh, there's land. Oh shit! You see those people there? You know? You can't do nothing without pointing. So point away, dude. Point away. Who cares? Be you better than anybody else can be you. There's no other way to be. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. I really hope you did. I hope you had a good time. I know I sure did. Because I'm doing this for you. To maybe just think outside the box once or twice a week. Or a month, whatever. Just take the box that you're in and just, step out of it. Like Kubert. Like how he just jumps. What a great little character that guy was. So, I said it's the time for truth. It's the time for truth. I've been on one of those journeys that many people are on in life, and it's the journey of not always doing the right thing. We've all failed. We've all been beat up. We've all been crushed. We've all thought we had a rock bottom. We all have been there. Everybody. You. Philip, you've been there. I know that, buddy. Everybody's been there. But here's the truth. At this point in my life, it's the time for truth, folks. And I've never been happier. This is literally like, okay, so like, some guys, they're like, oh, I want to be a fucking player in the NFL. Some other people are like, oh my God, I want to be a fucking doctor. Some people strive to just like climb a mountain and get to the fucking top of it. I feel like I'm at the top of my mountain. I know I'm at the top of my mountain. Because if I was any higher, I don't know, I'd probably meet God. It's the best feeling in the world. And the only way to do that and to get here, I encourage you, look, don't be anything else. Be you. Because you are the only one who can be you better than anybody else could be you. It's been a wonderful time. I'm glad everybody's taking a little bit of time out of their day to listen. And if you have something to say, I'd gladly engage in some dialect with you. It's fun. I do have to say this again, at 100 subs, we are giving away $1,000. Also, shout out to the new subs. Thanks for showing up, everybody. I do appreciate you. There's nothing better in life than to know that you don't know. I encourage you all to be open-minded, stay fresh, and stay frosty, my friends, because it's getting cold out here. Also, as a disclaimer, apparently, I've got to say this. These are all facts, in my fucking opinion. I hope you all have a wonderful time. In time.